Thank you so much for joining. For those of you that were waiting on time, and I'm going to go ahead and ask you, please go ahead and share this live with your friends and family. Share it on your messenger, share it on your feed, share it on your story on Instagram. This is another live talking about financial literacy and preparing for our future. We can only make decisions when we are educated. And that is my goal. My goal is to educate as many people as possible, but I cannot do this alone. So I am asking you, if you go ahead and share, we will have more people educated so that they can make informed decisions. Today, we were talking about things that are pertinent to anyone. It does not matter if you are 18 or you are 65. This information is key to you. The younger you are, the easier it's going to be, because we are going to be talking about our future, and we're going to be talking about how do I think financially about my future. So go ahead and share this information. Please go ahead and post it so that we can continue to educate others. And if you are watching this recorded on YouTube or on Facebook, go ahead and share as well. If it's on YouTube, copy that URL and let's go ahead and share it with friends and family on our feeds so that we can go ahead and educate each other. Now, if you have shared, go ahead and put in the comments below, shared. That way I know that you are sharing the knowledge by sharing this video. Also, let me know from where in the world are you tuning in. I would love to connect with you and get to know you a little bit more. My passion is finances and financial literacy because I want people to be educated, and I need your help to be able to share that knowledge. So go ahead and share so that we can go ahead and get started. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pause this music and share a little bit about who I am. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Glisette Torres, and I am a financial consultant. I am a mother of 2 beautiful girls. I have a super supportive husband. I have a bachelor's degree in business administration and accounting. I am also a math educator, so my passion is numbers, and also financial literacy, of course. And my goal is to be able to help as much people as possible be educated so that they can make informed decisions. And today, that is what we're going to be talking about. We're going to go ahead and continue the conversation about financial literacy with retirement. So we're going to be talking about understanding retirement age and life expectancy, and how does that all affect us and entail. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and share my screen as you guys are sharing with me in the comments and letting me know that you have shared this information. So here we go. All right. So as I said, we are going to be talking about understanding retirement age and what is life expectancy after retirement, and how do we prepare for decades post-retirement? Because this is one of the biggest issues that we have as a nation. We are not prepared. We start thinking about it when it's too late. And so I am here being vulnerable and showing you a picture of me. And later I'll share it nice and big so you can see me currently, and then me over 65 using AI. I said, you know what? People need to visualize themselves. Usually when things are out of sight, they're out of mind, and we do not think about retirement because we want that instant gratification. We are focusing on the now, this moment. And so we don't think about it until sometimes it's too late. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you a little bit of information that is crucial for you to understand, why do I need to prepare today? If you didn't start when you were 18 or when you were in your 20s, before 21 or 22, then the best time to start is today. Because when you retire, and we'll talk about that later, you have to prepare for decades of income when you are not working. And so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what does that actually look like. I'm going to go ahead and look at my screen right here so I can be sharing, passing these slides. All right, so a little bit about me. I did present who I was. Now, what is it that I do? I help individuals, families, and business owners prepare and protect the unexpected and their financial future so that they can live and leave a lasting legacy. That is what I do. That is my passion. And I do this through education and through financial literacy and through vehicles that help them prepare and protect their financial future and the unexpected. And so let's go ahead and see what is the objective of this. My objective for you is to have a little bit of an insight of what is the importance of saving for retirement today and understanding what life expectancy is after I retire so that I know that I have the funds, long-term financial planning, and the funds so that I can live comfortable and enjoy my retirement and not have to go back to the workforce. And so to start with that, I want to start with traditional retirement age. It has not changed since 1935. So a traditional retirement age is 65. Currently, you can retire at 62 and you'll get a cut in your benefits. You can retire at 65 or you can retire at 67. The longer you wait, the more money you will receive. Now, keep in mind, you're not receiving a big amount, and you're going to go ahead and listen to Roosevelt, which was the president that signed this Social Security Act in 1935, and how this he established that it was 65. And if you see this here, I know it's small. I'm going to go ahead and open it a little bit bigger so you can see what it says. It clearly says that people were living until 62. That was life expectancy in 1935. So I'm going to go ahead and click play, and then we'll have a little conversation of what is my interpretation and opinion on this video.
Social Security is the president's theme, as in Washington he discusses the outlook of the individual.
The millions of today want and have a right to the same security that their forefathers sought in this nation. The assurance that with health and the willingness to work, they will find a place for themselves in the social and economic system of the time. Because it has become increasingly difficult for individuals to build their own security single-handed, government must now step in and help them lay the foundation stones, just as government in the past has helped lay the foundation of business and industry. We must face the fact that in this country, we have a rich man's security and a poor man's security, and that the government owes equal obligations to both. But national security is not a half and half measure. It is all or none.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and have a little conversation about what he just shared. Okay, so he is saying this is all or none. And he was clear in saying that this is not intended, Social Security was not intended to be the sole retirement system. That was not the goal. The goal was to help supplement if you lived long enough. And what do I mean by that? As you saw in that previous slide, it clearly said that life expectancy in 1935, when this Social Security was signed, life expectancy was 62, but retirement age was 65. So when they created Social Security, they did not expect for anyone or very few to actually collect on their benefits. That was not the intent. So it was sort of like a life insurance. If you lived long enough, then you will probably collect 1, 2, 3 years before you die. And before that was retirement. Retirement was work until you passed. Then they decided as a nation to have an option. But think about it. If the purpose was actually for people to enjoy their retirement, why wasn't retirement age earlier? Because if life expectancy was 62 and then you started receiving your benefits at 65, then it was not intended for you to receive. And so the percentage was very low. Now that paradigm has changed. And if we look at here, this chart, and this is from the CDC, the last time they updated was 2022. So the information is as accurate as 2022. But I'm going to go ahead and open this up so you guys can see this clearer. It clearly says that the average between both male and female life expectancy is 77. If it's a male, it's about 75. And if it's a female, it's about 80 to 81. Now, that does vary. But if you retire at 65 and you are living until 75, that is 10 years. If you are living up to 80, that is 15 years. And I daily help people that are over 75. And I know in my family and in my surroundings, seniors that are over 80, over 85. So life expectancy now is closer to anything after retirement. It's about 10 to 30 years. And so are we prepared for what that looks like? Are we prepared? And I know the answer to that because there's documentaries on it, there's conversations on it, there's articles on it, and the answer is no. As a nation, we are not prepared for Social Security. For retirement. We are definitely not prepared for it. So this is why I am having these conversations. Now let's go ahead and discuss, what does it look like if I do not prepare for retirement? Well, when I retire, I have to think about life expectancy after I stop working. Because if I stop working, my income stops. So I am dependent on whatever I get from Social Security. If I have any supplemental retirement, for example, if I have a 401k, if I have a pension, if I have a 403b, and so I have investments, I have to consider that. And so everyone has to sit down and look at, what are the implications of living longer? What does that actually look like? Are you prepared for 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years after you stop working? Do you have the financial funds, or are you preparing for that today so that you can live comfortable and you do not have to worry? Because as we age, we have to consider that our health is going to be, how do I say this? We're not going to be in the best health. And so that is costs that add to the money that is coming in. And so part of what's coming in during retirement is going to go out to maintain our health so that we can continue to live. And so are you saving for that so that you make sure you do not run out of money and that everything goes to your health, God forbid if something were to happen? Because the longer you live, the more risk of getting a critical illness, getting a long-term care, something happened and you had to go to a nursing facility, or you're hospitalized, or you need surgery, And all of these costs add up and take from that income that's coming in retirement. And keep in mind, you're not producing more income. So what you get is what you have. And so it is important that you plan for 10 to 30 years. Ideally, you plan for 30 so that you know you have enough funds to continue living after retirement. Now, let's go ahead and look at another thing that is crucial and important, and it's Social Security. I daily speak with people that tell me clearly. I'm going to go ahead and remove myself from the screen so you guys can see the whole thing. I'm going to be here in the background. So I daily speak with people about retirement, and they say, "Oh, I don't have to worry about that. I have time." Or, "I have Social Security. I'm paying Social Security. I do not have to worry about that." Well, let me be the one to give you I want to say, and I hope this does not come out blunt, but a reality check. My intention is to educate you. And the reality is, Social Security is going to pay 40% or less of your retirement. So I have here a scenario just to help you with math. Income. Let's say that currently you have an income of $4,000 a month, that 12 months a year, that's about $48,000. Now, in Social Security, if you do not start retirement early at 62, you're probably going to be seeing about maybe 1,500. 1,500 times 12 months is 18,000. So you immediately have a pay cut of $30,000 less than what you are accustomed to receive every single month and every year. Can you live on 1,500? To be honest, I know I can't live on 48,000 in today's world with all this inflation and everything rising. And so imagine having to live with 1,500. This is why we see seniors going back to the workforce. We see them working in Walmart. We see them working in Target because they cannot afford to stay home and live on Social Security. It's just the reality. The middle class that does not prepare for retirement will be in poverty by the time they retire. There's articles on this. Academia is talking about it. Go and do the research. And I hope that this live and this video helps you pique interest into preparing, into finding that information. But let's go back to the numbers. So let's say that your retirement income, you don't need the 48,000, you need about 40,000 to continue to live because you've paid off your house, you do not have debt, you're living within your means, and so you need about 40,000. Well, if you're getting from Social Security 18,000, you have a gap of $22,000 a year. Let's say you live from 65 to 75, you live 10 years. You're going to need a minimum. And again, this is not considering inflation. This is not considering that you have your money in an account that is producing some type of dividends or cash value. You're going to need about $220,000 for 10 years. And if you live 20 years, you're going to need $440,000. If you live 30 years, you're going to need $660,000. This is just to supplement Social Security. And this is just giving you an idea without inflation, without cost of living, without any illnesses. So if we look at the math, the reality is, if we do not prepare, the government is not going to be able to provide what we need to be able to supplement our retirement. And so this example is just a basic example of someone $40,000 just to survive. And the reality is, we don't know if they move Social Security to 70. It's been in conversations. And so, do you want to work until you pass? Because right now, Social Security has a debt in the trillions. That's a different conversation that I will have on a different live. But do the research and check it out. And so, we have to take our retirement in our hands. We have to control that narrative. We should not wait for government to cover, because we don't know if they are. We don't have a guarantee. They have control to decide, you know what, I don't want to pay Social Security to to you guys, to our society, our nation. When you're 65, I'm going to move it to 70. And so you have to work longer because you're only dependent on Social Security. So my mission and my goal is that we take this information, we do our research, we find the information, and we educate ourselves on what are the options available. And keep in mind that we want options available that get us as close as possible to the 0% tax bracket. Because if you put all your eggs in the basket of tax deferred, which means I am deferring the tax, I'm not paying it now, I'm going to pay it in the future, then you're going to be taxed on that retirement income and your Social Security retirement income, because you haven't paid taxes. And the IRS is going to want their part. Uncle Sam is going to say, well, you haven't paid me on this retirement, on this money that you were saving in your nest egg. So during retirement, where you have less deductions, you will pay more taxes. And so keep that in mind. There's something called provisional income. You can look it up in the tax code, where they tax your Social Security if you pass the threshold. So there's just so many components to when we retire that we have to take into consideration as part of our planning for our future. And so I hope that with this example, you can see clearly, and here's a picture of me. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. You can see clearly that although we look in the mirror and we see and visualize us today, but I'm going to ask you to take a moment and visualize you post-retirement. How many years do you want to enjoy retirement without having to go back to work, without living in stress because you have not prepared and now you're living paycheck to paycheck, or you're depending on others, you're depending on your kids, you're depending on your family to provide for you because you did not prepare. And so if you see this picture of mine, I can see myself today, and I can see myself close to retirement or at 65. And I need to prepare for that person, because I know for me, I have big dreams after retirement. I want to enjoy my life because I've worked for 40, 50 years. I don't know at what age you started working. I know I started when I was 15. And so, do you want to work until you pass the way it was back in the 1930s? Or do you want to enjoy your golden years and travel, or have fun and doing road trips, or getting on cruises, or visiting the grandkids? Whatever your retirement dream looks like, you can only accomplish that dream by preparing and planning for your future. And so I'm going to invite you to look yourself in the mirror and envision what you would look like. And if not, Go ahead and download an app that you can take a picture of yourself now, a selfie, and then upload it so it can show you your future self. Because if you do not prepare for that future self, you will have to go back to work, or you will be living in a difficult time because financially you cannot sustain yourself. And so I hope that with this presentation, I am able to shed some light. I will continue to have more conversations about this. And I hope that this piqued your interest enough to go ahead and research. If you want to know what to read and you're not sure where to look, let me know. DM me. So here's my information. You can send me a text message. You can send me a DM. You can visit my website, schedule an appointment with me so that we can have a conversation to see if I can even help you. And we can figure out what are your financial needs and how can we get there. And so I encourage you to contact me. And if you have someone that you trust, a friend, a family member that you know is also in the financial consulting and financial services, give them a call, send them a message, let them know, hey, I just listened to this podcast and I have some questions. Can we meet? And I'm sure they will be willing to sit down with you and help you prepare. So scan these QR codes. You will be able to get my personal information. Send me a text message or a DM. I would love to get to know you, love to meet you and see how I can even help you in the first place. And please share this information with friends, with family members. Let's go ahead and educate our community so that we are financially literate and we are prepared for our financial future. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Here we go. I'm back. So let's go ahead and share this with as many people as possible so that we can be educated. My name is Glisette Torres. I am here to help and serve in any way I can. It has been a pleasure, and I hope to see you next week with another topic about finances and financial literacy. You have an amazing morning, evening, night. Today is not, right now it's night, but I do not know when you're watching this. And let's go ahead and share the knowledge. I'll see you next week.